Hello, good evening, wherever you are. It could be the morning, afternoon. And I'm just coming on here again to talk about a few things that have been coming up for me as I'm starting my independent practice as a nurse. And one of the things that have been coming up for me is around procrastination. This is not a new thing that I have dealt with in my life. Procrastination. So what I've learned is that a lot of the things for me personally is that it's usually around fear of what others fear, essentially. It's about fear of failure, fear of many different things. Fear of people seeing me, fear of, so many things. Fear, it just holds us back. And if I procrastinate, then I won't fail. But the opposite is true. If I don't go ahead and I continue to push myself, I feel like that would be like, what if I would have done this? Or, I could have possibly, succeeded. And what's wrong with that? That's a beautiful thing. And I could have failed too, and that's just part of life. But if I don't go ahead and try, then I'll never know. So there was a practice I was doing today, more reflective in my mind, but I'm going to write it out as well. I think that, it might be supportive. So when I get into that procrastination mode and that fear is there, most times it's, it could come up as anxiety. It could come up as, irritability. It could come up as, my behavior is not going ahead and doing something that I know I need to do. And then I don't do it, and then it adds to the anxiety that it's not done. And so it's just like a spiral. And this is a pattern of mine. And I know this pattern's there. So that awareness is there. So when I'm in that flow state, it's not very flowy. When I'm in that state or those mindsets, it is something that interrupts my intuitive way of knowing. So many of us are intuitive, that gut feeling that you might have about something, right? And when these patterns come up to be seen, whatever they are, I'm talking about procrastination is one of the patterns. And, behind what that procrastination is, right? Again, I should introduce myself. I'm Katrina. I'm a nurse, a registered nurse, and I've worked in mental health for 20 plus years, and I'm trained in a bunch of different modalities. As soon as I get my website up, procrastination, I will be sharing more of those methods that I use within my counseling that I do, or the psychotherapy that I provide for folks, and the other energy work as well. So back to what I was saying. So I'm empathic and I'm intuitive, and I've had this my whole life. I've pushed it away lots too, but I love it. I have learned to love this part of me, and it has helped me so much in the work that I do and being around others, feeling their feeling states and seeing what I see, right? But for me, I'm human too, and I have these things, and that's okay. It's just, how do I work through those? And so I really love this. What came up for me today was really look internal within myself and not projecting anything out to anyone else, like, oh, well, if this would have been done, or if I didn't have to do this, if this person would do this for me, then I would, have this done, or, projection and looking outside of me for answers, and or blaming others, whatever it might be, right? But looking back at me, like, what is it that's going on within me? And to listen for what blocks my ways of knowing, my intuition or my gut feeling. What is it? So for me, in this case, it's the fear of being seen, the fear of failure, the fear of all the things. And then the behavior that's coming up is the procrastination. So the step 2 is really looking at those old way of being, that distorted, or the old imprint, you could call it, right? And then once I see that, I help it lose its power over me. So I welcome that, awareness. So recognizing is coming up. I allow it to be there. I could use rain as a way to mindfully work through it in my mind if I want. So rain being a mindful, self-compassion way of looking at myself and what's going on within myself and this behavior, and in my thoughts and in my feelings and the sensations that might be coming up around it, like, oh, the anxiety in my chest is feeling tight, sort of thing. So one of the ways that I can welcome in a different vibration or energy around it is welcoming in self-compassion. And I can speak the phrase out loud and thank it. Thank you, procrastination. Thank you, fear. You've protected me in the past, but I don't need you to protect me anymore. And, with a deep breath, and in saying that to myself, I can talk out loud or talk on YouTube. I could write it out. I could journal. You could journal it. And then, I can say, I do not need this discord anymore within me. I choose harmony within my core. I meet this vibration as a decision my field wants to make, not merely as changing my thought, but also changing the signal that I want to send out into the world. And then, work on that. If it comes up again, meet it again. Thank you for protecting me. I do not need this anymore. I choose harmony within. Yeah, so it's like I start to reprogram that inner programmer that was there, that ego coming up to protect me, but is stalling me now. I don't need that. I want to go forward. I really do, despite the fear, right? And then tell myself that and we can tell ourselves that it is safe to be seen now, right? And another step that you could take is, I'm here, speaking my true voice, speaking to what is coming up for me, so I can be a mirror for others. Really, that's my intention. I want these processes that, we go through, I'm going through, to support others. I want other nurses, I want other practitioners who want to work differently to find a way that they can do it. I want people that have had such pain and to find their mission and their purpose in this life. Big or small, whatever it is, right? I want them to feel joy and happiness in their body, not just like in, pretending. I want them to authentically feel it and to be able to, really feel it in their body. And then if, grief comes up, you can meet it. If anything comes up, you notice it and you feel it, and you practice that mindful awareness, and you practice that self-compassion, and you continue to practice it until it just becomes second nature. Just like if you're going to go to the gym and you're going to work out these muscles, you're going to work out these other muscles, right? Your nervous system, your brain wiring, that neuroplasticity, right? You're reprogramming. Except for you are in control. You get to program what you want within yourself, right? I'm just reading my notes here. Yeah. So then, what I'm really talking about, and I talk about this in another video, is about authenticity. And how authenticity is like, we talk about energy. Well, I do. And, how we can feel it in our body, or it feels low, or it feels high, or feels depleted, or, there's different ways to speak to it. But authenticity is really the higher vibration than just performing or pretending or wearing the mask, right? And imagine you have to wear that mask, like how many times you go to work and you say everything is good, or you meet someone at the grocery store and you're like, how are you? Good. It's just an automatic autopilot kind of thing. And maybe you are good, and that's great too, right? But if you're not good, is that person a person that you could speak to about it? It's like, yeah, I'm tired today and this happened and I'm feeling this, right? Like having, that authentic conversation with others and yourself. Yeah. And, people feel that. People feel authenticity. And you can tell when someone's being, truthful, or someone's just putting on a facade. But also there's compassion there for them as well. So another step would be, the next step would be, when your intuition comes back and you're starting to build that, you've started to build that awareness, and you've started to understand the patterns that are happening, and you're meeting them wherever they're at, and you're giving them non-judgmental kindness, and you're continuing that process, right? Is that then you start to feel that insight and that presence, and you feel like you've cleared some congestion within this system, right? Your body, your mind, your soul. Yeah. And that things just start to kind of feel effortless. And, you feel peace even when life is loud. All the things going on in the world, you still can feel peace, and it's okay to feel peace. Yeah, there's some kind of quiet certainty, and you trust, and you have faith, religion or not, right? Yeah. And that's where you can just be, and you start to feel that creative energy come through, and your purpose starts to shine through. You start to embody that inner wisdom daily, and how you move through ordinary moments with alignment. So how I speak when I'm tired, I notice that. And how I might respond when I'm triggered or activated, I notice that. How I choose when no one is watching, right? I feel like that's when your soul and your human experience, whatever your belief is, it's like when there's this higher way of knowing, and your experience here, you start to meet each other, where it's just easy. Life becomes a little bit easier, a little bit more peaceful, more aligned. Yeah, and really that's exactly what I want for everyone, to remember that this is something that they can do, that this is a feeling they can feel. Yeah. Yeah, something else I wrote down today. I don't know where I read it, but it said, even the stars are hidden behind the clouds, but they don't stop shining. So deep down in there somewhere, your stars are shining. You just need to find them again. Yeah. Okay, let's hope this helps my procrastination. Woo! Okay, I hope you find yourself well. Look after yourself. I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, bye.